everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Murg Mayhem, where one take can cause mayhem. Sorry for not uploading any new episodes this past week, even though I did record on Wednesday or Thursday, I can't remember, and I wasn't able to edit and upload that. I had to take a mental break due to things going on in my life and trying to balance this with work and all this other stuff, and it got overwhelming, so I took a little mental break, mental vacation. So I wasn't able to let anybody know. I don't know how to do community posts on YouTube yet. So, but yeah, I haven't been able to do that. But today I'm coming back to start new, start fresh, and to give you some more opinions and takes on some stuff that happened over the weekend. And hopefully this week will be a better week, and hopefully I'll be able to get back to what I was doing these past few weeks. So, what happened last week? So, I'll start with last week and then go into about what happened over the weekend. So, as far as Fiction Friday, last week on Fiction Friday, or I wasn't able to do it, but the week before, prior to that, I talked about a Mandalorian game coming out. That was first person. Apparently, it's not happening anymore, which is a bummer, because around the gaming industry now, everyone is firing people. Insomniac, who did Spider-Man 2, fired people, and then the company Respawn fired a few people as well. Then they were making part of that studio is making that game, the Mandalorian game, but yeah, and now So the Jedi Survivor that just came out in 22, I think now, 22 or 23, I don't know, I can't remember the date. But Jedi Survivor, Respawn is potentially saying that this third game is going to be the end now of that trilogy or of that series, which I hope it's not, because I know they could probably do a lot with the character too, because if they're able to make Boba Fett come back and make a new show out of him, I feel like they could do a lot more with this character, and plus it'll help Disney make a lot of money. But yeah, that's potentially why that could be their last game as far as in that series, and any other gamers that watch, and that's also the reason why Star Wars Battlefront 3 was canceled, due to people getting fired, and Disney was wanting a lot more money with licensing expenses and licensing fees for that IP game. So it's unfortunate, because I know that a lot of people would probably like to play as a Mandalorian, but it just sucks, because there's the concept, everyone gets hyped, and then they just drag us back down, which is unfortunate, but that's the way life works, and you just gotta keep trucking. Plus, there's multiple games coming out this year, especially in March. MLB The Show, I would definitely be playing, because I like the game of baseball, love the game, and I can use that platform to talk on mine. So there's that. Rise of Ronin comes out on the 22nd, and Dragon's Dogma 2 also comes out on the 22nd. And yeah, it's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be a good year for March, good month for March. So that's all for about Fiction Friday, or I guess on this Monday. What happened over the weekend? So over the weekend, I'm gonna talk specifically as far as NBA, just on Sunday, because there's lots of things happened on Sunday that I was shocked about. One of them, I'll just get it right out of the bag. We're gonna talk about the Warriors game first. I really do not understand how this happened at all. I have no idea. It kind of shocked everybody, because no one was expecting the Warriors to get beat this bad. Nobody was. They were down by about 50, 52 at halftime. I'm trying to see to be sure like how bad it was. 82 to 38. So about 48 or 44 points. I think if I can math. Yeah. I mean, I understand that nobody shot well at all. Steph Curry only had like 9 points or something, or 4. He had 4. I gave him I gave him a little too much credit there. But yeah, I mean, I understand that nobody shot well at all. Curry didn't, and it was just an offensive onslaught by Boston. Had Jaylen Brown and Tatum 27, 20, 29 points. And, you know, this is every time that they play, it's always a rematch in the finals. You know, they were playing on Boston on their home court, and they want to show a message. But if you're Golden State, this is embarrassing. And I know 3-point as far as their shooting percentages, they didn't shoot well. You see that. I don't think that we should take this game as a grain of salt. Boston's Boston. We know who they are. They have arguably one of the best dynamic duos in the league. Plus Drew Holiday. Porzingis wasn't even playing, so I know that he might be battling an injury. But yeah, he didn't play last night. Basically just put Al Horford in there. He was Al Horford traditional numbers as far as in his career. He doesn't really have to do much now. He can just play. He played 20 minutes, put up 7, got 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal. So, and he can stretch the floor. So that's what his role is now, and he's been doing it really well for a long time. But yeah, it was just an onslaught from Boston. I don't know, I'm still shocked that this happened because we all know that the All-Star game is bad just because there's no competition and there's no defense and stuff. But, I mean, they pulled their starters going in the second half, and I feel bad for whoever who was there as a Warriors fan because they probably left at the end of at halftime. And if you're Boston, I mean, as a fan, yeah, I understand that you want to support your team, but I would have left by then. I mean, you're up by 50. Shoot, I would have left by then. But yeah, I mean, Boston, hell of a job for giving it to them. That's what she said. Just kidding. But yeah, I mean, wow. Yeah, we're gonna stop talking about it because I have nothing else to say, and just the utter fact of we're done.
We're done.
The other games that happened over the weekend, as far as games that I feel the need to talk about, the Raptors and Hornets, just 2 young teams going at it. Scotty Barnes did not play. I don't know if he's injured, but he probably also just got the day off. Barrett and Quickly combined for 45. And Ochai Agbaji did have a great shooting night, but he did shoot. The only thing I can say he did well on is that he missed 6 threes out of 7. But he made 1, got 13. And Gary Trent Jr. has always been a good scorer since he's gotten into the league, as far as being a guy that can contribute for good quality wins. He scored 17. Brandon Miller, I wanted to give him a shout out because since about end of November, early December. He's been playing his butt off, playing lights out for Charlotte. LaMelo Ball's not playing, so I know he's had struggles with injury over these past few years, or at least this year, as far as we know. Um, Miles Bridges is now coming back. They have a good big three here. I know that Miles Bridges potentially could sign a good contract in free agency this year. Do I think he's going to leave Charlotte? I don't think so, just because a potential distraction. But he scored 20. He didn't shoot the best either. He went 9 of 19, but I really do think that he's going to be a valuable free agent for somebody to sign. Grant Williams scored 18 points, 13 rebounds. I mean, they just don't have the pieces right now to be competitive. But Brandon Miller is a good cornerstone for the future. Last night he scored 26, 4 of 8 from 3, 11 of 21 from the field. Also got 10 boards himself. He's a good defender. And I just want to give him a shout out because he's, as of right now, the only thing good in Charlotte to at least watch. I know Miles Bridges is a highlight reel for his dunks, but I mean, for the whole package of defense, scoring, shooting, Brandon Miller is that for Charlotte right now. Until LaMelo Ball comes back, he's the only thing that's worth watching in Charlotte, if I'm being honest. The Suns and OKC played last night. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to watch this game, even though this was on ESPN. Like I said, I got the. I've said this before. I have late shifts, so I wasn't able to watch all of it or watch a little portion of it. But OKC at one point led by about 21 to 24 points. And then, Kevin Durant led his team back to at least get it to 10, and then they got a lead, and they made a run in the fourth quarter. But then Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was able to get the troops back, and he ended up closing the game out for him. He ended up getting 35, 8 rebounds and 9 assists, 3 blocks and 3 steals as well. So he had a phenomenal game. And the one thing about this Oklahoma City team is, like, all of them don't really have an ego. Yeah, they have as far as confidence, they have a lot of confidence for their age. All these players do, but they don't have an ego to where it's detrimental to the team. Like they all know that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the best player. He's the guy that's going to be able to wear out the troops for the fourth quarter and close out the game. But Chet Holmgren went 5. He went 5 of 10 from the field. He got 14 points. So everyone's like, well, he's only got 14. Well, he also can contribute in other ways. Defensively, he's one of the best rim protectors in the league. Did get a steal, and he's 7 foot, so like he can affect the game that way. Jalen Williams is 22, 10 of 19 from the field, so he was the second leading scorer that game. And then Lou Dort, like Holmgren, can affect the game defensively. He had 3 steals. Josh Giddey is a playmaker, or at least tries to run the offense. He only had 10. But and then Gordon Hayward, he didn't do too much. He only shot the ball 3 times, but he did score 2 points. But their whole team has no ego on them whatsoever. They can all shoot. So they didn't shoot the ball too great from 3 last night, but when you have a guy like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander who can do damage in the mid-range, I mean, it kind of balances out. But yeah, one thing to mention about this game too, Devin Booker did not play. So that's another reason why that they didn't play as great. But one other thing to highlight in this game was that Nurkic got 31 rebounds in that game. The last player, as far as in recent memory, to do that was Kevin Love, prime Kevin Love, might I add, when he was in Minnesota. The most rebounds in a game actually is Wilt Chamberlain. I mean, I don't know why that's so surprising, but he did get 55, losing to the Celtics and that whole super team at the time. So, but yeah, Eric Gordon had a great night, 6 of 15. Nurkic 7 of 16. He had 14, but I mean the Suns were very limited in their rotation last night. But Josh Okogie didn't play due to a right hip injury. So as far as perimeter defense, he wasn't able to affect the game that way on Shea. And I did one also, since I'm looking at one of the roster spots. Mike Muscala, I told you guys. Well, you told you guys that he got a buyout. Hopefully, that episode isn't uploaded, but hopefully I'll try to get it uploaded soon. Hopefully, right after this episode goes up. But he did get bought out by Detroit, and now he's on the Thunder. He's probably not going to play because they don't really, as far as like right now, they don't really need to play him. But in the playoffs potentially, if they need a guy that's about 6'10" to 7 foot that needs to spread the floor for Shea to work, that'll also help them as far as spacing. So that's all that happened in this game. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to watch it, so I can't really give accurate takes. All I know is that Shea is. I mean, if people don't think he's a superstar now, or was before he is now, I'm just glad that we got to see him trend. I mean, even when he was with the Clippers, you could see some signs, and I'm glad that we can see this steady decline in his career, and hopefully it keeps going up and up, and hopefully he will. And I hope he gets an MVP in his career, just because offensively he is everything to that organization, everything to that offense, and he's a 5-level scorer, can post up, shoot the three, shoot the mid range. As far as finishing around the rim, he's really good at that. I forgot the 4th level. I'm having a brain fart on that, but JJ Redick explained it as far as scorer, or at least Melo did too. But yeah, I mean, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is one of the best talents in the league right now, and I hope hopefully he can just continue to grow. 76ers and Mavericks. I didn't see this game either because this was playing while I was working. But yeah, Philly without Embiid, Mavericks completely healthy. Markieff Morris. I thought it was Marcus Morris for a second, because Marcus Morris did get bought out by the Spurs, so now he's a free agent now. But yeah, Philly went to Dallas. Sorry, Philly went to Dallas without Embiid, and Campaign was battling illness. So as far as point guard, there wasn't really a backup. So Kelly Oubre, Batum, and Patrick Reed played a lot of the minutes. And I mean, Kyle Lowry and Maxey did share time as far as the playmaking role. But yeah, Philly won by 4. Dallas should have won this game by far. I don't really know what happened. To be honest, one, I didn't watch the game, but at the same time, while I'm looking at these stats, as well. The one thing I notice about every time I see the Mavericks lose, um, I have to see if I'm watching. Obviously, you can see a lot of things while watching, but if you notice, every time they lose, I mean, there are some times where they just sometimes they play every guy on the roster plays really really solid and they lose. But then when they also lose at times, you look at their shooting percentages. So PJ Washington shot 3 of 10. Max Kleber went 0 for 2. Hardaway 1 for 8. Hardaway is one of the guys that needs just to be a productive scorer off the bench. He went 1 of 8, missed every 3 that he shot, and made 1 of the 2 mid-ranges or layups or what have you, whatever he scored as far as 2-pointers. But I mean, we all know that their defense isn't really the best. But I mean, Derek Lively, 4 points. So there's not a lot of, and Derek Jones Jr., give him credit too. They probably let Derek Jones Jr. shoot because he's not really a shooter at all. He made all his threes because I'm assuming they were probably wide open, because if he's never been a shooter in his career, why would you close out on him? But yeah, kudos to him. I mean, for stepping up, because he's a career 32% 3-point shooter, which is not the best. So kudos to him for making it a close game as far as bench scoring, because he's got 21. But yeah, Tobias Harris, 11 of 19. The past few games he has been playing well with Embiid being out. Mo Bamba filled in a role for him as far as the starting center with 8. Kelly Oubre off the bench came in 21. Patrick Reed 13. Maxey 24. Heel didn't have the best shooting night from 3, but he ended up getting 11 double figures. Maxey with 24. Mavericks should not have lost this game. They're playing at home without facing Joel Embiid. Kyrie and Luka, 20 plus for both. They shot better than Philly, out-rebounded Philly, but they did have more turnovers, and turnovers are a key issue for them. But I just don't think, based off this game, if they lost to somebody without Joel Embiid, this game should have been an easy cakewalk for Dallas. They combined for 64, Kyrie and Luka. But going back to what I said about the stat sheet, that both of them shot the ball 20 to 30 times. And when that is the case, everybody else has to be efficient. And, PJ Washington missing 7 shots, Kleber missing all of them, even though he's not a guy that's going to be primarily his shots are 3-pointers, but they're wide open or dribble kick out based off of Luka or Kyrie passing him the ball. So he only shot the ball twice, but he's got to be a better defender. But yeah, he's got to be a better defender like he was in the bubble a few years ago against Kawhi. Gafford only played 13 minutes, so limited minutes, limited production. But yeah, that's all I can say. Dwight Powell didn't play. Jalen Hardy didn't even play either, and he's a guy that can score. But yeah, that's what happened in that game. But yeah, like out of the Golden State and the Dallas game, I would say the worst game of the day was probably Golden State, just because of how bad they just got beat down. But they are a playing team, and even with the Warriors, they got Steph Curry, they got Clay, they have shooters around to make sure that you have to keep a head on a swivel at all times. With Dallas, I mean Dallas is a playoff team, but as far as making it there, they have to outscore everyone, and their defense is lackadaisical at times. But you have Luka, who's not really a great defender right now, and they specifically want to outscore, so that's the Mavs mo. But the last game we're going to talk about, I know the Knicks and Cavs played, but I just that game didn't really interest me as far as a viewer eye test standpoint. But the Spurs also played last night against the Pacers. Wemby is the second player in consecutive games to have like 25 or 30 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, and 5 blocks or something. Just crazy that he's able to do these things. And the only rookies to do that are Tim Duncan and David Robinson. So he's in good company with Spurs legends, but also legends that are in the Hall of Fame. Halliburton didn't shoot well last night, 4-16. Siakam, 10-17. He was the most efficient. TJ McConnell came off the bench, scored 26. So he kept him in the game. But, Ben Mathurin, another key piece for Indiana, didn't shoot well last night either. And as far as, like I said, shooting, they shot the ball 20% from 3 and 44% from the field. So from 3, that's what hurt them. They just weren't able to shoot behind the arc that night. Plus, TJ McConnell shot all mid-range jumpers because that's just his game since he was with Philly. He's never really been the best three-point shooter in his career anyway. But he scored 26, 3 steals, 5 assists. So that's what happened with Indiana. As far as the Spurs, they finally let Wemby play more than 30 minutes. I highly doubt they're gonna have this be a pattern, but he did play the second most minutes last night. Played 31. Sohan played 34. But yeah, Wemby, his stat line last night was 31, 12 boards, 6 assists, 6 blocks, and a steal. His backcourt mate Vassell didn't shoot the ball too great last night either. 7 of 20, but he did score 17. Bram, 7 of 13. He got 18, and Keldon Johnson scored 17 as well. So they have a lot of young pieces. I just don't. It's going to be a while before they get competitive. As far as like trying to keep guys to build a team around Wembanyama to be competitive. Keep Sohan, even though I really don't want him to be the primary playmaker of the offense. That should be Trey Jones' job. Trey Jones didn't even shot the ball twice, but he played 30 minutes. And I also add, since I'm looking at the stats, Vassell played the most at 37, but that's neither here nor there. But I mean, Trey Jones should be the primary playmaker, and he should run the offense. Vassell is the scoring mate, the scoring dynamic dynamic duo with Wembanyama as far as offensive capabilities. And Keldon Johnson has been the best player before Wemby even got there. He was 7 of 13, 17 points last night, like I said. And I really think that in order for them to be competitive, he has to be in the starting lineup. I know Bram could be that shooter that's just the designated shooter for a role, but maybe Keldon Johnson could be that sixth man for San Antonio that just comes off the bench and scores. But for this team to be really dangerous, I really think that it would be a good idea to probably have Johnson back in the lineup, have Bram come off the bench and be that shooter, for him, just because Johnson can shoot too. It's just he kind of needs the ball to at least make his own shot and shot create for everybody else. But I mean, we'll see what happens. What can I say? Spurs played really well last night. And congrats to Wembanyama making more history to his name. But yeah, that's what happened last night. A few nights ago, on March 2nd, which was I was looking at my data on my other monitor here, but yeah, March 2nd was a Saturday. LeBron and AD went up and played the Nuggets at home in LA. And LeBron passed the 40K marker in all-time points. He'll be the first and probably the only person ever to do it for maybe the next 10 years, 10, 15 years. But yeah, congrats to him. He is now 40K in the 40K club. But the only thing that spoiled the night was Jokic, and he is since Joel Embiid is not playing right now, and Jokic is the best player in the league now, just by default. He ended up scoring 35. No, Murray scored 35. He wasn't. Sorry, I flipped him around because Denver played a few days ago and Murray scored 35. I think that was Friday night. But yeah, Jokic 35, 10 rebounds, 7 assists. Jamal Murray 24, 11 assists and 6 rebounds and a steal. So those two are, I would say, are a better dynamic duo than LeBron and AD, just because you never know what AD is going to give you. And if Jokic put up 35, you would expect at least Anthony Davis to at least score 25. So at least it'll be a minus 10. No, that didn't happen either. Anthony Davis only shot 13 field goal attempts. So, but what's typically happened in AD's performance when he goes up against Jokic is that he'll attempt maybe 13, or he'll try to attempt 8 to 13 shot attempts. Wow. 8 to 13 shot attempts, and then the second half he won't shoot anymore, which I don't know why. It's very noticeable. But yeah, he only scored 17 points. He did get 3 blocks, but it just seems like when you watch these games between these two, Jokic just flat out outshines Anthony Davis. Jokic didn't shoot well from 3, but that's not really his game. If he's open, he'll shoot it, and if he's feeling it, then he will. He only missed 9 shots too, so he kind of was feeling it though. Went 16 to 25. But LeBron, 12 of 20 from the field, 26, 9 assists, 3 steals. 40 years old, and he's the team leading in scoring and assists and steals. Which kudos to him for being able to still play at that level at his age. Reeves didn't have a bad game. And as far as plus and minus, he had -9, but he scored 19 points, 14 assists, 7 of 12, 50% from 3. Hachimura, 23. I'm glad he's getting into this starting role. I've started seeing this in the last few games that he's played, and I mean, when I started this podcast or sports show or whatever you want to call it, I said that for them to be successful, he's got to start, because he's the most efficient guy off the bench, Every time he comes off the bench, he's very efficient. And last night, 10 to 15. That's what he would do on the bench, but he wouldn't close out the game. And now that he's closing out the games and being able to produce and start our minutes now, he scored 23. I don't really understand plus minus because I know Thibodeau. That's what he goes by. The Knicks coach Thibodeau goes by plus minus, which is a good way is good and bad. But Peyton Watson, this is I guess a good example. Peyton Watson, who's been, I think he's a rookie or if not sophomore, came off the bench, played 16 minutes, 3 of 5 from the field, 7 points and 3 blocks, 2 rebounds. That's a pretty good game. I mean, at least for him, for 16 minutes, 7 points, 3 blocks. That's a hell of a game for that guy. But plus minus -3. So, I'm not really big on that because Hachimura had -13, and he had a way better game than. I know plus minus incorporates a lot, so it incorporates defense and what have you as well. But and then D'Angelo Russell 17. But I mean, the outliers here. Porter went 10 of 10. He didn't miss a shot. He scored 25, and Aaron Gordon 18 and 9 and 5. So Denver is just a better team than the Lakers. They're still my pick to win it all in the West, and if not the whole thing. But if Embiid was healthy, I would want to see Philly and Denver in the finals. That's just me. But yeah, that's all that happened in the NBA over the weekend. As far as baseball news over the weekend, the only thing that really popped up was that Zach Wheeler, I'm going to start off with him because he's already on a team. He wasn't really a free agent, but he did sign a 3-year, $126 million extension. With that being said, it just makes the Phillies that much better. Not only that, but it only incentivizes Aaron Nola to stay, and everyone on that team, Bryson Stott, Brandon Marsh, Nick Castellanos, to stay. Because what Merrifield just got there, and what if he goes back to Kansas City Royals with Merrifield? That would be insane for him to get back to that point, but also to make the team more dangerous throughout the lineup. But with that rotation, with Wheeler, Nola being that 1-2 with Ranger Suarez, Taijuan Walker as well. I mean that their whole starting lineup and we're starting rotation is going to be something to watch, and I'm excited to do that, or at least to be able to witness that. But yeah, and then the other thing that happened in MLB was that Matt Chapman finally got signed. So Bellinger's back with the Cubs, and that Matt Chapman is going to the San Francisco Giants. Out of all the teams, he's going to the Giants. And I haven't been able to do my 30 clubs in 30 days or whatever, but we'll talk about the Giants soon. With the addition to Matt Chapman, I got to finish the AL West first, and then I guess choose whichever division I want after that. But yeah, Matt Chapman, what does he bring to the Giants just by himself? Last year he hit 240. As far as his average goes for his career, that's his third highest average, so I guess that's good. But for the first half of this year, or at least last year, he was playing exceptionally well. I don't know if he was player of the month in April as far as American League. But yeah, he's a guy that hits for power. very good defender. 4-time Gold Glove, and two of those Gold Gloves, they were platinum, but those were uh, mostly for his time in Oakland. He did get a Gold Glove last year, which I'm not really surprised, but he did get a Gold Glove last year. He was an All-Star one time, and that was in 2019. That year, he hit 249, 848 OPS, 36 homers, and 91 RBIs. So he has the potential to hit 30 homers, 100 RBIs. Um, Baseball Reference projects him to hit 233, 753 OPS, 21 homers, and 62 RBIs. Since he is going to a new league, new division, he will be playing the Dodgers. So he's in for a rude awakening, not only for Yamamoto, for Glasnow, for he has faced Glasnow a few times with Toronto, just because they were in the same division. But yeah, he's gonna face Glasnow, Yamamoto. Sooner or later, he'll face Ohtani, which he did face him a little bit when he was with Oakland. But yeah, he's going to be in for a rude awakening as far as the Dodgers go. Blake Snell still isn't signed, so we don't know if he's going to go back with the Padres. I highly doubt it, but it could be a chance, could be a shot that he goes back to Miami. But yeah, Matt Chapman finally got signed. Thank God. But yeah, that's all the MLB news. I'm going to go into other things that happened over the weekend too. Ed Ott, to be honest, I don't even know who he is, but since I'm a baseball fan and I love the game of baseball, I want to give thoughts and prayers to his family. He passed away over the weekend. He did win a World Series with the Pirates in 1979. He only played about 8 years. I couldn't really find what really happened to him as far as his career. I don't know if it was injury prone, but I mean, when he retired, he was 29. It looks like he was dealing with some injuries because the first 2 years he played 12 games, and then his third year he played 27. So most likely injuries derailed his career. But he was a career 259 hitter, 33 homers. So thoughts and prayers got to his family. And if you haven't heard already, Chris Mortensen tragically passed away at the age of 72 due to cancer. He was a reporter for specifically NFL, but he could report for other news as well. But he was known for being an NFL reporter alongside like Adam Schefter, and he was on shows like NFL Countdown and Monday Night Football and things to that nature. I've seen him on TV since I was a kid, and I've always seen him interview players, and I just thoughts and prayers go out to his family, and as well as to Peyton Manning as well, because I know that there's some I read where they were pretty close, and but yeah. So I just wanted to give shout outs to those people in the sports world, and give thoughts and prayers out to their family, just really quick. But yeah, and now that it's Monday, there's going to be 2 things on Movie Monday that I'm going to talk about. So one thing I recently read, or at least I found on Microsoft Edge, is that the Fantastic Four are going to be introducing Imperious Rex. To be honest, I had no idea who that is. I know, like, I say I'm a Marvel guy, but I don't really know when this character was made. I don't know if it was made early years in the Golden Age, or I don't really know what time the Golden Age is. I don't know if Imperious Rex was made in the 60s. I don't know, but there is a connection with him and Namor. and in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, Namor was the antagonist, um, and so I know that there's a relationship there between both of them. So I'm glad that they're not putting Namor with the Fantastic Four, and Doctor Doom is going to be a villain for later on in the MCU, which I'm happy about, just because I don't want to see these big marquee villains die like MODOK, even though MODOK could have been a villain they could have used against the Avengers in later movies. I didn't like that they killed him off so quickly, just because MODOK is a super genius and can control machines. But that's I guess that's above my pay grade and stuff. But yeah, I'm glad that they're introducing a villain that no one really knows about, because not only do fans like me and other comic readers get to do research about this movie, but we also get to know a new villain. The High Evolutionary, I don't really know too much about, but I don't know the actor's name, but he played he was in Peacemaker. He brought that character to life, and just based off that actor's performance, made the High Evolutionary one of my favorite Marvel villains ever. So hopefully they find an actor that can have that high evolutionary effect. And this movie will be in the 60s. I don't know if I said that, but yeah. As far as the cast, like I'm still iffy about it. I'm gonna see it. It just depends on how the characters' chemistry and the actors' chemistry go well with one another. But yeah, I'm excited for this movie to come out. Reed Richards has always been one of my favorite superheroes of all time, just because of his powers and how the 2005 movie. That's the movie I grew up on, and I've always thought elasticity was kind of cool. And he's a smart guy. Unfortunately, sometimes he can be an arrogant asshole, but it just brings more character to Reed, and in a way he tries to be like Iron Man when he can't. So, but yeah, I just want to give you some more news based off of the movie, and that it's now projected to be coming out in July of 2025 or something like that. No, yeah, July of 2025 instead of May. So it'll be one of the best movies as far as most hyped movies going into the summer. And this is from Screen Rant, so I just want to give out a source. But yeah, that's coming out, and one of these movies that just came out a few days ago, Dune Part 2. I think I already talked about it, but I just want to give more reasons based off of why I like the first one. I mean, like I said, the cast was stacked, but one thing I did not say about Dune Part 2 is that Austin Butler was going to be in there. I don't know what character he's playing, because I want to have as little knowledge as possible. But Austin Butler played Elvis. If y'all don't already know and haven't seen the movie, since that movie, he's had a lot of stardom. Everybody wants him in their own movies now. And Austin Butler now, he and Chalamet have. I don't know if y'all if anybody is listening plays Call of Duty, but yeah, he has his own skin in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. And but yeah, I'm really excited. Plus, I don't know if y'all seen the bucket. I'm gonna. But yeah, Dune Part 2 is now having their own little movie bucket. Collector's item now. It looks a lot like something else, and it could be used for something else. I'm not going to say what, but yeah, it's going viral everywhere. I'm trying to find it. It's yeah. This is this is what it looks like. If I can show you, I'm trying to. Oh my God, that's not it. There it is. This is the movie bucket. Basically, I forgot the worm's name. That is the worm from Dune. Um, Everyone's talking about it on TikTok. YouTube's making YouTube shorts about it. Yeah, that is what is going on in the movie cinemas right now. Um, I really do think that this movie will be better than the first one, like I said earlier. Um, I can't wait to see Zendaya's character have a more impactful role to the story. Um, and I'm really excited because after I saw the first one, as far as Oscar nominated standards go, I know it's a VFX movie. I know it's a sci-fi movie. It's not basic. It's not based on a film cinema rubric. Um, but you know, in a way, you have to look at the score, the characters, the story itself, the character development for each character. In this movie, you know, how will we see Atreides come back after his dad died? I mean, he knows that he died, but you know, how will he bounce back from it? Will he be the leader that? Will he like is where will he go on his journey to be the one? Um, you know, at the very end of the first one, he sees a Fremen ride one of the sandworms. You know, so I'm very excited um, for that reason, just based to see his character development. Plus, Josh Brolin is in this movie, but we didn't really see him in the first one. We saw him as like the combat trainer specialist for Paul, and I want to see him more in this movie because we don't really know if he died because we see him charge against the enemy, but we don't really know what happens after that. Um, but yeah, we also know that the uncle, I don't know if he died. Batista's uncle, you know, when Atreides hit his tooth or something and poison gas went out everywhere. I think he's still alive, but barely. But yeah, we'll see what happens in this newer movie. I'm trying to see it on my day off if I can. Hopefully I can see it this Thursday, but we'll see. But yeah, that's all I have today. Hopefully I'll be able to get this up tonight as of Monday. But if not, it'll probably be tomorrow. If not Wednesday, because if I didn't have late shifts, I'm getting off at like 11:30, so I won't get home till really late. But we'll see. Just want to give you guys an update on when this is going to go up. But yeah, so I will see you guys next time, hopefully on Tuesday the 5th. Hope everyone has a good day. Hope everyone has a good start to their week, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.